is the Celebrity Afterlife Report podcast.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Celebrity Afterlife Report. This is the only show on the internet that gives you the up-to-the-minute gossip about all your favorite deceased celebrities. I am your host, the Celebrity Medium, and I am very happy to be with you again this week. It has been about 5 weeks since we last heard anything about former U.S. Senator Edward Kennedy and his new career in the next world as a porno star. As I reported at the time, Teddy was about to start filming Mr. Kennedy Comes to Washington with co-star Jayne Mansfield, who was sometimes called the poor man's Marilyn Monroe during her time in Hollywood. When the former senators' brothers John and Robert publicly criticized Teddy for his unexpected change of careers, the bosomy bleach blonde came to his defense, saying the two should lighten up, and that the movie was all in good fun, not in any way intended to reflect badly on the elder Kennedys or their family's reputation, even though it apparently features lookalikes of the two. After his siblings' tirade, Teddy went quiet on the matter, and reports say that the movie was shot in secrecy in an undisclosed location on sets designed to look like the White House. I received word from one of my Afterlife sources the other day that the movie was now finished and is playing in some next world theaters. So I asked the source if he would mind going to see it so he could give me a review of it. I have to say I didn't exactly have to twist his arm to get him to agree to go. Afterwards, he reported back to me saying that the film is pretty much what you'd expect, with scenes of the former senator having sex with Mansfield in just about every room in the faux White House, including on the desk in the Oval Office. The movie has some silly slapstick scenes with the senator's brothers nearly catching Teddy and Jayne going at it on several occasions. My reviewer gave it one thumb up. Subsequent to his report, I got word from another source that Afterlife tabloids are reporting that the senator may have required a stunt double for some of the sex scenes. The stories say that there are suspicious edits when the film cuts to close-ups of the action, and in some of the shots, the man replacing Mr. Kennedy has obvious tattoos on his abdomen, which Teddy does not have in other shots. Some who have seen the movie are snickering that the senator may not have been up for the task at hand. Two weeks ago on the report, I told you that the pair some have called the next world's oddest couple, former American President Abraham Lincoln and singer Whitney Houston, have been given their own television variety show for the summer. The show, which has been described to me as resembling the Sonny and Cher comedy hour from the 70s, features Abe and Whitney singing and performing in skits together. The new show was designed to run during the months when the couple's reality show, The Crazy World of Abe and Whitney, is in production. Word was that the pilot tested well with audiences, and the series has now been given the green light to go into regular production. The first post-pilot episode was being shot, and the two were in the middle of a joke referencing Mr. Lincoln's now famous gaffe when he referred to Whitney as a charming negress when a commotion broke out in the audience. Turns out that the disturbance was caused by the president's former wife, Mary Todd, who regular listeners to the report will remember did not take Abe's afterlife decoupling from her lightly. It is believed by many historians that Mary Todd was bipolar when she was on the earthly plane, and it seems she has retained some of the characteristics of that disorder in the next world. She kept yelling, "Take your hands off my husband!" at Ms. Houston until security was forced to remove her from the theater. My source says it took some time before the audience was calmed down and the show's taping could continue. On a side note, one source reports that Mr. Lincoln was offered a small part in Ted Kennedy's porno. The producers wanted him to play his own ghost in a scene that would show him walking in on Teddy while he was having sex with Jayne Mansfield. As you would expect, Honest Abe politely declined the offer. Months ago, I reported that Ayn Rand, the patron saint of libertarianism, had completed a new novel titled The Eternal Shrug, a sequel to her blockbuster hit, Atlas Shrugged. In it, Rand expressed dissatisfaction with the afterlife. She is unhappy with the fact that there is no monetary system in the next world and that everyone there has all their needs supplied to them, which she feels makes people there lazy and complacent. Now comes word from several sources that Rand has gotten herself into some hot water. Regular listeners to the report know the ongoing story about aviator Charles Lindbergh's plans to construct an all-white community in the afterlife and about the protests against it led by former Nazi Adolf Hitler and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Now the feisty novelist has injected herself into the controversy. Rand gave an interview recently in which she said that men like Lindbergh are the best humanity has to offer, as evidenced by his first ever solo flight across the Atlantic. She told the aghast interviewer that men like Charles shouldn't be bound by the, quote, petty concerns of the average person, unquote, and that if Lindbergh wanted to build a segregated community, no one had the right to stop him. Despite being challenged by the interviewer, Rand stuck to her guns, refusing to back down from what she described as the highest form of morality, unfettered individualism. Okay, this is unusual. We have an update to a story from just earlier. Just before recording this edition of the report, I received word from a source that Bobby Christina, the daughter of Whitney Houston and her Earth plane husband Bobby Brown, has transitioned to the next world. The transition had been expected for some time, and Bobby Christina actually had a brief visit to her mother and her new husband in the afterlife a few months back. Now she will be a permanent resident there. Abe and Whitney were present to greet her upon her arrival to her new existence. Sources say that both of them seemed overjoyed that she would be with them now. Whitney took a moment to address the press gathered at Bobby Christina's arrival. Quote, "I can't convey how happy I am to see my sweet Bobby Christina again. Her pain is now over and she will be with us forever. I have already asked her, and she has agreed to join Abe and myself on our new variety show, much like Chastity Bono was with her parents on their show. I ask everyone to please respect our privacy as we enjoy our reunion." Unquote. It's kind of nice when things have a happy ending, isn't it? Okay, on that pleasant note, it's time to wrap up this edition of the Celebrity Afterlife Report. I will return next week with more up-to-the-minute gossip about all your favorite deceased celebrities. Until then, please help spread the word that the report is available for free on iTunes and the Celebrity Medium. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to the Celebrity Afterlife Report podcast. To ask a question about your favorite deceased celebrity, call 818-3-MY-DREAM. 818-3-MY-DREAM. 818-369-3732.